Next up, we have 4DX and Dr. Andreas Forres.
Hi. So thanks everyone for hanging around for my presentation. I know it's a busy conference and you guys have got plenty of other places to go to. But I have a very exciting presentation to you today. 4DX sits on the cusp of a really big breakthrough commercially in its history. We're just coming up to our 5th birthday and we are in really incredibly exciting times. We have a technology platform that can revolutionise medical imaging across the board. Cancer, cardiac, but also lungs. And we think lungs is the best place for us to start. There's a massive opportunity and the current technology that's in this space is really not fit for purpose. So I travel around the world, I talk to doctors and I say to them that the existing diagnostics are failing them and I get agreement from them. So that's where the exciting opportunity is in the lung space. The 3 technologies, the 3 products that currently fill 98% of this multi-billion-dollar sector are really just patently out of date. I'm going to quickly talk you through them: spirometry, chest X-ray, CT. Then I'm going to get onto 4DX technology and then talk about our business model. So spirometry is the most commonly used lung diagnostic procedure today, and it was invented in the 1860s. Right? So imagine the confidence you would get if you walked into a doctor's office and he was sent off for a prescription on a telegraph and then said he was going to go down on his horse to come and pick it up for you. It's really just unbelievable that a technology invented in the 1860s is still the most commonly used product. In this product, you breathe into a tube. You typically breathe in as hard and as fast as you can, and it measures how much air you can breathe out in 1 second. But let me just give you a simple number fact. You have an early stage disease that's covering 20% of your lungs, and it's affecting that affected region by 20%. Well, 20% of 20% is only 4%. And then the real kicker comes in that spirometry is effort dependent. It works on how hard you try, how much effort you put into blowing into the tube. So if you're 4% down, the doctor is just going to think you tried 4% less hard than you ought to have. And so diseases are undiagnosed until they become too late. Chest X-ray, the next most commonly used procedure, 1890s technology here. You take a deep breath in, you hold still, it takes an image, captures an image of the appearance of your lungs. So spirometry at least measures your lungs' function. X-ray measures the appearance of your lungs. Now, so from that image of your lungs' appearance, the doctor has to try to see if there's something there unusual, something that appears to be unusual. But they have to do that. It can't, if it's behind the spine, behind the heart, behind the liver, or behind any of the ribs or your collarbone, it can't be seen. So basically, it really can't be seen until, once again, it's typically too late. So, however, why is chest X-ray still so popular? Spirometry has some popularity because it has this functional component. It measures how your lungs work. Chest X-rays really only remain popular because X-ray equipment is everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. It's readily available, the cost is low, and the radiation, while it's there's some radiation, it's really also quite low. So X-ray persists. If the X-ray doesn't work, you end up on a CT. So on the CT scan, you can see you slide into the tube, you have to be lying down. An X-ray machine spins around you, takes hundreds of X-rays. Those hundreds of X-rays are combined to create a 3-dimensional image of your lungs. The issue with that is it's about 6 times the cost of an X-ray, about 70 times the radiation of an X-ray. So that's really a problem. A paper published in the New England Journal of Medicine says that 2% of all cancers will be caused by CT from CTs done today, and up to 7% into the future. Also, another worrying thing with CT is the lack of specificity. So if you look at the latest National Lung Cancer Screening Trial data, CTs have a false positive rate of 94%. So that means basically everybody gets a positive off the CT, but then you have to go for further testing anyway. So it's relatively useless in that regard. Here I show you 4DX scans side by side. So you have a healthy scan on the left and a diseased, and one example of a diseased lung on the right. Blue shows when you're at the bottom of the breath when you don't have much air in your lungs, and red shows at the top of your breath when you have the most air. You can see in the healthy lung, basically all the lung fills up to full capacity. You can see right away that there's a number of things wrong with the diseased lung. There's a region in the lower left lung where there's very little air getting in. There's a region in the upper left lung where there is air getting in, but it's taking a long time to get in there. And you can see that the other areas of the lung are getting more red. That is, they're working overtime to take up the excess capacity from the areas that are diseased. When we show this capability to doctors, they get incredibly excited. They say, okay, how can we get this technology into our hospital? We want to have it. How soon can we have it for our hospitals? And they said, but we're a bit worried. Can our hospital afford, the big scanner that's going to do this for us? And then we explain to them the way that 4DX technology works. A patient goes into a hospital, they stand or lie in front of an existing ordinary X-ray machine that's already there, and instead of taking a deep breath and holding still, they breathe naturally. They breathe naturally for 3 breaths, that's 12 seconds. They turn the current down to low on the X-ray machine, it's just a single button press on the front, and so you take a burst of images over this 12 seconds. That equates to the dose of 2 chest X-rays worth of radiation. They then send us those X-rays off their ordinary existing X-ray equipment to us on our cloud platform. Our software, without any human intervention, performs an analysis and delivers these videos and a full report back to the hospital within an hour. So to summarize that, right, we have the key capabilities of all of these 3 products that currently fill the marketplace. We have function, we measure airflow like spirometry does. We use X-rays as the underlying modality, so we access the ready availability, the low cost and the low dose of X-ray machines, but we create a high resolution image similar to that of a CT. We've combined the core capabilities of 3 products which currently have 98% of this multi-billion-dollar sector into one single product. When doctors see that they don't have to pay anything up front, it's 35 times less radiation than a CT and provides far more information, they really just can't wait to have it. And the pull factor from the marketplace is incredible. So let's talk about the market size. Lung health, as you know, everybody has lungs. If your lungs stop working, you've got a serious problem. So it equates to about 1/6 of all healthcare costs, $1.4 trillion in 2014. Someone dies of a lung disease every 2 seconds, right? So obviously a critical healthcare issue. If you want to look at what the addressable target market is, the areas where we have data, so that's in the OECD 2014 data, is $30 billion global spend on spirometry, chest X-ray, and CT every year. If you have a look, once again in the US, where we've got really good data, 70 million scans a year or a spend of $12.6 billion. So once again, I like number facts. 1% of the US market's $125 million a year US. 3% of the global or the OECD market's $1 billion a year. The market opportunity here is absolutely phenomenal. We have a software as a service business model. We have 0 footprint at the hospital. When a hospital becomes our customer, no one has to visit the hospital. We don't install any hardware, we don't install any software. We simply open a web portal from our server to theirs. They do the X-rays, they send us the images on the portal, we run our analysis, within an hour we deliver it back. And we charge on a pay per scan or a pay per use model. Nothing up front. Every time they ask for a scan, they pay for it, we deliver it back. In the US, that means we charge about $500 per scan, which gives us a gross margin of about 80%. So $400 per scan, no human input. On the demand side, that means the hospital has no capital expenditure. They don't have to train any staff. On the supply side, we have a very low cost of delivery, basically nil. Effectively infinite elasticity of supply. Our cloud partners can easily provide all of the scans from the planet. No capital requirements for us, and low regulatory hurdles. We've been with the FDA for coming up to 2 years now. We got the green light at a face-to-face meeting in February. Our final documents go in August, 120 days clearance from that. So we'll have FDA clearance this year. That alone provides potential investors with an unbelievable opportunity. You look at the market data for companies like ours, they double in value once they have FDA. So someone who comes in today can expect to have a doubling in value by Christmas on their investment. Global research partners, we've published 74 peer-reviewed scientific papers with these research partners showing the validity of the technology. I talked to you about market pull. And so our target for this year without FDA clearance is to get 10 of the top 50 hospitals in the United States. They're the opinion leaders globally. Once we have that opinion leadership from the US, we're going to take the product global, the US, Asia, then Europe, and then the rest of the world. Cedars-Sinai, Beverly Hills, where all the movie stars get their healthcare, are a paying customer. LA Children's Hospital, #1 ranked children's hospital in the United States. Cleveland Clinic, number 3 ranked hospital in the US. There's 2 hotels in the Cleveland Clinic because people fly there from all around the world. And just recently, we've also signed up Harvard, the number 1 hospital in the US and probably in the world. We had a target of $1 million in revenue last year, which we hit. We had a target this year for $3.5 million of revenue, which is an unbelievably aggressive target for a company that doesn't have FDA clearance. We're already at that level by May. So our projections, the company has got really extreme interest. Once we have the product with FDA clearance, those sales will go through the roof and the company will be on a trajectory to be a global healthcare provider. Thank you very much for your time.